Hello, my name is Tom, or as you see, my name is also Torii. I am joined here with anxiety.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I thought we would just do like a video, just going on about our past, and um, I've got some. I've done some questions. I thought I could ask you as well, just about anything. Just the old past, the experience we've had together,
Hmm.
the experience you've had, and if just sit here, chill, get a cup of tea, just chill and
Was
have
right.
fun. Um, if you don't know me, you probably most of you probably don't know me as much. I used to be a OG former member for back in the old days for Rampage. If you don't know what Rampage was, it was um, just an old team. That's where me and Anxiety met, and then obviously I went on to NiteLite, and then NiteLite reformed. So I've worked with Anxiety for a long time. I then um I then just took a break of the game. I didn't enjoy it much anymore, and I kind of been on the sidelines, and then I kind of just wasn't. So I've kind of been here and there, but if you don't know me, hello. If you do know me, hello. Anxiety used to coach, analyze our games we used to play. We've had good moments, we had bad moments. But at the
Mm.
end of the day, it was all fun. It was all experience, and I enjoyed it. Um, I really did enjoy kind of doing that kind of stuff. I wouldn't really go back to it like in like being part of the team. I'd probably just if I was to get involved, it would probably be on the sideline more.
Yeah.
But um, but no, I enjoyed it. I mean, how did you feel with the whole experience, with like everything that was involved and included, and how did you feel back then?
So yeah, when I started, it opened up a new path for me. I was always interested in Rainbow Six Siege, and this is obviously where the game is always with us 24/7. And
Mm,
I really wanted to look at the esports side of things. So Ollie was the owner of Rampage, and he was a friend of
mm,
mine of another mutual friend. And Ollie said to me, like, "Hey, I'm running a team now and all this sort." And I'm like, "Oh, good for you," and stuff like that in the past. But then I wanted to hit him up. I was like, you know what? I might actually want to get into this type of thing. So
yeah.
yeah, honestly, getting into this type of new foundation of esports in Siege was, I don't regret most of it, if that's what you're trying to say. I feel
Yeah.
like I could have done a lot of things better, but there was definitely some great moments that I really want to take with me because I've learned a lot from this.
No, I get you there. I think me personally, I've learned a lot of experience. I mean, I've always played the game since release, but I've never, I guess you could say, I've been in quote unquote teams, I guess you could say, but nothing like it was where we had a coach, we had an analysis, we had someone to like tell us our rights and wrongs and all that kind of stuff. So it was nice to have someone there. Um, but what made you decide to help people rather than actually play the game and play for the team?
So yeah, originally, I never wanted to play. I know a lot of people will be saying automatically like anxiety. Playing is probably the best part of being in an environment like this. I
Yeah.
disagree. I think there's so many different things that you can actually take part in with what you enjoy and what matters. And obviously, I've always been a kind person. I would say that I would like to show my appreciation by helping as many people as I can. Whether I do something bad or do something good, I still want to show people that helping people means a lot more than being selfish in life. I know sometimes in life you have to be selfish, but there's times where I feel like helping people is a greater achievement than most. Um, but yeah, I feel I didn't want to be a player because yeah, there was times I felt my mental would be a bit off, and I don't think that would be right for the team. It'd be unfair on the team if my mental was to shatter. And people would always have that discussion about me being a controller player only and a keyboard mouse player to feel like the levels are not there. Again, I disagree. I just personally feel I came into this as a like a manager slash coach slash analysis, the backside person, the person running things behind the scenes, not the person on the front line.
No, I do agree with you. I feel like some people kind of don't really like if you're a player in a team, or not even just Siege, any kind of game that involves competitive. I feel like people don't give much appreciation to like the coaches or the analyzing side that goes to it, because the team need, it's like football. You can't get good without the coach. Yeah, the
Yeah.
players are the one who are playing the game, but who's taught you what to do? It's the coach. And I get what you mean. And I do have to say, obviously, I've seen you coach, I've seen you analyze, and I've seen you play. You you do coach a lot better than you play. You really, really, I know for a fact
Yeah,
you do.
I don't disagree on that.
No, yeah, I mean, I've seen you play. I've seen you. You're a good player, but I think you're definitely. I definitely do think you're better on the coaching and analyzing side. Um, Well, that's my experience anyway. Obviously, I don't know much what you like now, but from my experience, that's how I feel.
Yeah,
Um,
I
yeah,
agree. I agree with all Torii. As a player, there's only so much you can get through. I feel, but as a coach, there's so many more things that you can achieve with, and it depends on how good you are at it. And I always felt dreaming to become something that's in a behind the scenes type of person mode. So,
mm,
I always wanted to take part as a great leader in the back scenes.
yeah. No, I understand. I understand. With coaching and analyzing, what would you say you struggle the most with?
Oof. I struggle feeling like there's times where people think I have an ego, and I don't want to accept the feel like I have an ego at times,
Yeah,
especially when it comes to being in this type of job. I don't know, functionally, we don't know what's right and wrong in situations. What we do feel is what we feel is right and what we feel is wrong. And there's a lot
yeah,
of times I've had a bit of disagreements with players based on their ego and their own sense of not trusting what other people say from them. And it's like going out one ear to the other. And I've always struggled
yeah,
that with a lot of players. A lot of players, I tell them what's right or tell them what I feel is right, but they choose to ignore that and decline that information, and they don't even improve on it. And I just
yeah,
feel if people can actually just understand, like at the end of the day, I'm not trying to hurt you, I'm not trying to put you down, I'm trying to regain your confidence by telling you what I feel is right of what you can learn and improve on. It's nothing to do with hurting your personal feelings of that matter of the situation. It's all about what happened in the situation, how to improve on it, and it's whether your choice whether to listen to it or not. And I feel that's one of the most difficult things in a lot of the players' minds, because they just have this ego to think, oh, because I'm diamond, I'm champ, I respectfully feel like I'm the better player in the room, including any staff involved. And I just feel like that's just kind of unacceptable behavior, because someone could have a brilliant factual thing and they could be silver or gold, and you just don't know that. And I just feel like at the end of the day, I get it, experience comes higher and higher, but the rank system doesn't determine how smart of a player you are. It really doesn't. It's just a rank system based on the amount of wins you get. It's not about how you win. It's not about how many kills you get. And a lot of people need to remember rank system, KD, it doesn't filter all the problems of having that ego. Like it doesn't come with the nonsense of actually listening to what people have to say at times. Um, so yeah, that was one of my most difficult understandings. Another part of me is it's the amount of hours and the amount of reliability on people. As a manager, I'm relying on people to turn up. I'm relying on people to be punctual, but a lot of the times people don't be on time. People just think it's a waste and get on 10 minutes before a scrim. And I just think to myself, like, I need you to try and be on a bit earlier, because I want us to discuss tactics. I want us to discuss any mistakes that we went through last time and actually improve on it. I want us to feel like at the end of the day, I get it. You're in tier 4, you don't want to be taken serious yet, but then there's a lot of people in their LFTs that they're looking for a serious team. So why not try and be punctual? Why not come on time and actually learn what you're about to go into? Because most of the players I've gone through, I'm not gonna lie, we could have gone through discussions of things that could have been improved on, and yet they fail to do that on why we lose those rounds.
Yeah. No, I do agree with basically what you said. I mean, I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to remember back of my experience. So if once again, you guys, if you don't know, once again I was in the team, but I was the support player. So I just played third mic half the time and open up a wall. That was my job. And I'm just trying to remember back to like I won't say names, but to people where they were good at the game. They could get the kills and they
Yeah.
they knew what they were talking about, but they would take it to the point where if anything happened like negative in the round or anything like that, they would never take the blame for themselves. It was always, oh, it's your fault because you didn't drone up properly or this, that, and the other. And I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like I've always said this. I feel like mainly with Siege, I'm not too sure about other games like Valorant, for example, but mainly with Siege, I know for a fact where if you're a high rank and you're an entry fragger, you just have the most. You lick your own asshole, and it really pisses me off. And I think that's half the reason why I kind of stopped playing Siege in
No,
general.
I completely agree with everything you're saying here. And this doesn't go for Siege. This goes for any other
Oh
game in
yeah,
esports. A lot of the times, players will blame other people, and that's due to the fact that they don't want to take the responsibility of their own mistakes at times.
yeah,
And learning to become a better player is taking responsibility of your mistakes, coming past
yeah,
that, and actually being apologetic about that. If you're just going to deflect it every time and trying to make out that you just feel like they're the issue, they're the problem, and we're trying to avoid you, that doesn't seem like you're a good team player. You're meant to uplift that. You're meant to help them and not try and make it out that they are the ones that to be sacrificed at the problem. It's a team-based game at the end of the day,
yeah,
and Siege is going to have the most critical and clinical problems when it comes to team communication and team play.
yeah. No, like with me, for example, I'll hands up admit it that I made mistakes, and I openly, I knew my mistakes and I apologized or shit like that. But yeah, you do get some arsehole teammates or
100%.
players in general.
Yeah.
Anyway, um, so the names NiteLite were formed, and Covalence Unity. Where did they like originate from? Where did they come from?
So the name Limelight was originated between me and another friend, um, who I known for a while, and he understood the situation that happened with me at Rampage, and we wanted to build our own team. I wasn't really thinking of any ideas at the time. I was still a bit upset with the situation, and he wanted to just give me some ideas that would go forward with it, and we decided to come up with NiteLite in the end.
Mm,
And as for Convalesce Unity, this was solely on my idea. I felt a new name was to be needed, and I felt a name that actually represented me as well as anyone who joins my teams. And it had a better meaning than NiteLite. NiteLite just didn't really have a meaning to it. It ran with the idea of, oh, let's just find a new team and then just call it a name, whatever. But the reality of it is, Convalesce has a deeper meaning, and I I feel like Convalesce YouTube just it brings so much like things to what we want, what we are, and the meaning is about regaining over time. A lot of players will lose their mental. A lot of players get frustrated. A lot of players get stressed. But we've regained from that. We learn from our mistakes and we go forward again. We run it back again. We never give up. That's what I always tell people. We never give up, and
yeah.
that's why I called it Convalesce Unity.
No, I do. That's understandable and shit. The only see this is like this is my honest this is me being honest. The thing that I've noticed with like a lot of people, and this isn't your fault, but the thing I've noticed with people on Covalence from when I was in the team, even if I look at like some announcements you've made of like members and shit like that, I've always noticed that there's mostly a lot of new people in like the lineup, or back in when we were doing it, we always had to look for other people because someone dropped out because they couldn't be bothered anymore and shit like that. And I remember finding other teammates every other week. It was really annoying after a while because it's like you want to build up a team where you all know how each other play and you all know what to do in like strats and shit like that. But then 2 weeks later, you got to like reteach all them strats to like two other people, but then they can't do it because of whatever reason. It annoys me. I have noticed with CUE that people. No, I'm not sure about recently, but last time I checked, maybe about a few weeks ago, there was a different team roster. So I don't
I
know.
have the answer. Sorry. I have the answer for this. So the reason why players come in and out is due to external and internal issues that always happen in the camp. Whether that be, internally about issues that are not improving and they've been reminded many, many times and they yet still don't learn from them, or there's toxicity, drama, petty, cheating. We've had the allegations in our time. But the reality as well is the understanding about players. And I like to build friendships with a lot of these players, Torii, and I feel there's times where I turn to a blind eye and not realize that my friends are making more mistakes than the actual players who actually want to be on this team. And those players that want to be on this team decided to leave because they're trying to tell me my boys are making mistakes and I'm not looking at it. And it's one of my biggest mistakes I've ever done because it's been dragging. It's like I understand with the new lineups, it's been dragging in and out of new players because I always keep taking a biased side to a lot of players in the past, and I will own up that shit. I will completely own it. But the reality now is I've opened up my eyes and realized that most of my friends were shit. I'm not, and that's not being toxic. That's being actual factual. There's a lot of times they couldn't keep up the level that we want, and the meta keeps changing. And the meta is that if you can't keep that consistency of it, you're going to get dropped. You're going to not stay in that environment because you can't hack it anymore. And it's unfortunate that I have to say things like that, but I have to be brutally honest because a lot of these players that I've known, that's got higher experience than most tier 4, they'll tell me in my ear like, "Anxiety, you sure you don't want to remove these players? Or you should remove this player because they're not at this level at all, and it's holding you back. It's frustrating you." And I understand dropping players is the worst thing I could ever do in this world. I hate removing players. Like it hurts. Like I know when people want to be here and actually want to play and stuff like that, but you've got to show me you want to be here, and that also comes with the theory working on it. And I will get into that in a moment. But point is I feel like I take a lot of responsibility for the reasons why new players come in, and that is just based on the fact that some people are not on the same level, people beef, people have drama, there's all internal issues where people just will not improve on their gameplay, and I've given them chances and chances because of it.
I mean, yeah, I can relate to like most of that. I mean, with all the drama and beef and problems, I can relate. But then I also can openly admit that I feel like that's half the reason why I left as well, because I feel like I met my limit. I feel like I wasn't performing the way I wanted to, and I feel like I was dragging the team down. So that's why I personally
And
decided.
it's upsetting because you're my friend.
Yeah, no,
and
yeah, it was upsetting, but it's upsetting because obviously I did enjoy it, but I'd rather this team get somewhere, and if it involves me, like just backing down, then obviously I'll do it. I'm not gonna be like, no, keep me in the team. I don't care what you say. Like, just
it's the hardships of knowing about it because I don't want teams to disband. I hate disbanding teams. It's one of the things I've always said in previous interviews with Charles. Like, I don't want to hear any more of these stories of disbandment. I want to hear goals and achievements, and I want to actually press forward. But in reality, things like this will happen, and a lot of players will be like, "I've reached my peak now. I can't do this anymore. I have to go." Or like I said before, like some players, they want to be here, but they don't actually show it, and I turn a blind eye because of it, or drama, beef, and confidence issues.
Yeah. No, I do understand. I totally get your point. But anyway, next question. over this, did your mood change over the course of like 6 months to a year, like working in a T4 environment?
Yes. So when I first started, it felt like I was gaining a lot of power, and that's not something I should be saying. But I'll be honest, I was getting a lot of power. I was getting a lot of traction. Players wanted to join under me. Players understood, there were some good things about myself and wanted to work under me. Um, but then obviously when drama happens, a kick in the teeth happens, and a reality check, you wake up and you realize, shit, this isn't the way to make things go forward. And then about maybe halfway into my career, I felt it's tiring, it's stressful, especially when we would go back to the previous topic, new players coming in. We've got to get to know these players because we don't know if they're going to be, trying to have their own little way around us or, actually want to be decent here. But my mood completely changed because I got tired. I got mentally exhausted. I was doing too much. And unfortunately, I nearly retired at one point, but one person kept me in check, realistically. I will go into that into a later question, but one person got me back into it, and I thanked them for that.
No, that's not much I can say to that, but to be honest, but that's very, I understand your point, and in your position, I could definitely imagine, managing a team and shit like that. It can be very exhausting and
Yeah.
tiring, and when people aren't taking it as serious as you want it, you start thinking, well, do I just give up? What do I do? But then, I sounds so cliche, but if you want to do something, never give up. That sounds so cliche.
No, it's
I feel
not.
like I'm in this. I
It's
feel like
not,
I'm in some
bro. It's not.
acting class,
Don't
but
just don't give up,
it's
bro.
true though, isn't it?
It's
It
true,
is true.
but just don't give up, man. That's what I always tell
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. No, Yeah. You've made a league before, haven't you?
Yeah. So
How'd it go?
Um, well, laughing tells you that something definitely didn't go well. Because it didn't. It ended in tragedy at the end of it, and it was unfortunate. But when it started, don't get me wrong, when it started, it was wonderful. I enjoyed it, and I still have motivation to try and recapture that at one point in my career again, where I want to build a league again. I want to build a tournament, because these are the kind of things that are enjoyable. It brings other teams together. It brings the attention of Siege a lot more better of this competitive integrity, because scrimming day in and day out, it gets exhausting after a while, and I feel like having a bit of a league, it gets a bit fun, it gets a bit competitive, and it's nice spirited, but yeah, I'll give you the rundown, like quick summary. So I knew these players were making a tier 4 team, like they called it a scrim, but it was actually a tournament, and I gave them pointers and help about how they can improve on it. In the end, they gave the keys to me and said, "Look, we feel you could do a better job. We only wanted it because we wanted to, build on our league, performances." And I said, completely understandable. They gave me the keys of the ownership of it. I changed it around. I kept the name for them. It was a Super Shuttle League at the time, what they called it. And I built across making it a good platform where all the games would be live on Twitch and then the VODs on YouTube. And the traction was great. Like, we were gaining followers. The reviews were good about it. People enjoyed what I was trying to bring to the table. I was still learning, and that's one of the things I'll get into as well. A lot of people would critique about the way about Moss and the entry fees, and at the end of the day, it was still in beta at the time. Like, I didn't get all the clinks out yet. I didn't have the right managerial support about it. It was me and my own staff from Convalesce Unity to support me at the time. So, and obviously when they're busy, I'm trying to do everything myself, and it was very clinical. There was even one match I had to commentate myself, but I still had fun with it. But point is, yeah, there was Moss. That was also a massive thing. We don't know who's cheating in this game, and Moss obviously tries to detect that. And I did initiate it eventually, but it was at the point where the league was done by that point. But before the Moss was enabled, people were joining the league anyway. No one had any suspicious problems during the midst of that. And then at one point, one team was just being toxic to 2 or 3 teams, and then other teams were just getting involved, egg each other on. and people just weren't liking each other. And I was just like, well, if people don't apologize and fix their mistakes, I'm not going to do playoffs. And in the end, I shut down playoffs. I brought in new staff, and obviously the old staff from the previous who ran it was still with us. They were against me. They were like, you should play playoffs no matter what. What are you doing? Blah blah blah. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm not having people take me for granted and think this is a place where we can just take the piss out of each other. Like, people don't know the levels of toxicity and don't know what it means if people are actually hurting people. So I said, until people show some respect to people, I'm not gonna host this playoffs because it just makes me look like a dickhead. So in the end, I quit. I said, nope, not doing it. You guys sort it. Bye. And in the end, we no one had the courage to get the Twitch platform moving. They went back to old just get results, and that was it. They needed me. They needed me back, and in the end, I came back, but I decided to close it down for a while because I needed a bit of a break from it. And then I got introduced to a guy from K9 Esports. He was running his own league, but he needed the support on his end for his reasons. So we came together as a partnership, and we were literally about to get things moving. Now, I did most of the stuff. I'm not going to try and lie about that. I did try and gather the teams up and stuff like that. And he was going to sort out the behind the scenes, like doing like the updates and results and stuff. But overall, I was literally paying like logos and overlays and stuff like that. I was literally paying money into this new league that I was building. And then in the end, when Hal broke loose with a situation that we can go into with Convalesce Unity, I decided to take a break, a 2-week break. And this was just before the league was about to start. I come back, and the guy just changed everything, like changed every round. He changed the name.
I remember that. Yeah. I actually remember that.
Everything was just completely changed, and they were just like, we don't want you to be an owner anymore. We just want you to host our games and commentate our games. So what the fuck? Like, I had to take some time away, and you're not giving me the respect to do that. Like, I still owned half of this league. Like, that is not fair. And in the end, I just said, you know what? You guys are trying to use me. I'm out. And apparently, after that, I was getting hate messages, and apparently their league fell apart without me because they went to the old basics where, you know, with the previous team before I took the keys, like having results only, no online games to be shown and stuff like that, and delays of responses with people. So when the players are asking for like when's this happening, they won't give you a response till later, and it was just falling apart. Like, they just didn't know how to run a league. That was the end of the tale, unfortunately. So it did blow my confidence away for making a new league, but never say never. I will eventually probably come back and make a new one.
No, I like that. I mean, I could rant about the whole player toxicity shit all day, every day. But I won't, because we'll be here for hours.
Yeah.
But no, there's so much I can say, but I don't want to, because it'd be just, I'll be writing the whole time along. But no, I do understand what you mean. I understand where you're coming from, and I feel like if you got power in like a server, for example, like, this isn't aimed at you, but I've known people to have power in a Discord server or a league, and they just fucking take it like their royalty and treat everyone else a bit like shit. And it's like, you don't want to be in that kind of environment at all. I
learned my mistakes from that a long time ago.
Let's go to the positives now. What are the most proudest moments in your whole career that you remember?
Proudest moments. My proudest moments is seeing productive wins every time. You know, I'm always going to be proud of my boys if we win 1 round, 7 rounds, 12 rounds in a scrim. Like, no matter what, if we win a round, I'm always going to be proud of that. So that's number 1. Number 2,
you can't forget the Yosh Torii clutch on Oregon.
Oh, 100%. Clutches, I get so gassed about seeing my boys, especially used to in the day, where people will clutch, especially in leagues, especially in scrims. Clutches are pressured situations that bring out the best in you when you're under fire. and it brings out such a good, remarkable moment. So yeah, obviously that's another proud moment as well. Um, Another thing is, people that actually are interested, and actually are excited, and they want to be like, they actually show me that they want to improve on this and that, and
Yeah,
asking for some feedback and stuff like that. I'm proud of that. It shows you that they want to be here, they want to learn from me, they want to actually achieve something here, and I appreciate those people that actually do that. It makes me like, what, I'm proud that you're doing that, because you want to be a better player, you want to be a better team, and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say most of those are my proud moments. But
yeah,
it's still more to come, and I still feel Convalesce is still, it's still in a learning period. We're not officially out there completely yet, but we want to try and show the world that we can be a good team.
yeah. No, I don't know. Yeah, I get you. I feel like with me, I feel like I know it's only about when was this now? When was on the team? Like a year ago, roughly. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
roughly about a
yeah.
year ago. I do. It's been a year. I do like look back, and I appreciate being there, and I appreciate all the effort, but I wish I kind of took it on board a bit more, as in I kind of like wish I um all the effort that you've done, I wish I kind of took it more to heart and shit like that. No, it wasn't like I didn't care that you made all these videos. It was more just like, wish I wish I just kind of learn myself more, if that makes sense, and shit like that.
No,
Um,
100%. I don't think this is just you as well. I think a lot of players will say the exact
yeah,
same thing. They should have learned and listened to me a bit more, and they would have understood of being in a better light of things. So no, I completely understand.
yeah. Have you regretted any choices you've made over the past year or so?
Yes, definitely people are recruited. There were some people that I won't name names, but there were some people that really put a lot of damage control on me and the people around them.
Yeah,
Um, I feel my own mistakes as well. There are times where, you know, I used to be a very angry person, and I used to show my emotion quite literally during scrims, and it's like, that's not, can't be doing that, and I regret that so much, because back in my day, I used to thought, getting my emotional anger to people would wake people up a bit better. But I thought, no, it's not the case, bro. Like, you're doing it all wrong. You gotta sit with them down, talk to them straight, understand their feelings and emotions. Don't show your anger, because it just makes them feel like you're undermining them, and it upsets them too much. So I regret that much, because a lot of players, especially during the days you were there, I regret a lot, because I made some foul tension, I felt like, and I personally will apologize for all of that. Another thing
mm,
is, me observing and stuff, like, at the end of the day, whatever I can see, they can't see. And I need to still remind myself, like, you guys are in that situation, you guys can't see above, you can't see exactly where all these players are standing. So that's another regret, because there's times I've I've said in my analysis videos about what they should have done and stuff like that, but it's like, how are they meant to know if I'm the one seeing it all and they can't? And little things like that. Another thing is, taking better respect for people. There was a time where I felt I said some words that shouldn't be said back in the day, and I learned from that. I learned from that really, really good, but I regret it, because it made things worse than it needed to be. Saying things is one thing, but doing and committing to these things that you're saying just shows you that you're not a mature person, and I just regret it all, bro. Like, I felt I wasted a lot of months on me, and I felt like I could have done so much better, and I still live with that regret now.
yeah. No, I mean, um, I get what you mean. I mean, back when you used to analyze like games I've been in, like yeah, we can't see what you see. So yeah, we might have drones, but it's one of them things where like yeah, we can't see what you see.
Mm.
So we can't always. Oh, I don't know how to explain it, but no, I know what you mean. I do know what you mean. Um, I definitely do think that your anger in like when watching us, definitely it kind of got to me a bit after a while and
Yeah,
all that kind of shit.
we
And
had a bit of an issue, and
yeah,
I regret that so much because you didn't deserve that. You know, I should have spoken to you
it wasn't.
more
Yeah, it wasn't
better.
just me.
It was just
Like it
you, but
wasn't
yeah.
like it was a team thing. But like it's just when you're like playing and you're like someone shouting, then it's like you kind of just start to lose. Like you just don't want to play anymore. You just kind of want to just
Yeah,
quit the game and go off for the night. But I understand. It's good that like it's good that you've realized this, and it's good that you want to stop it and
yeah,
change it all and shit like that. So let's keep it like that. Let's keep it like that.
yeah.
With other teams, what's it like working with them?
Yeah, so when I was having a bit of a break at the time, I would, delve in and just support some outsider teams for a while. And it's weird. Everyone's got their own weird playstyle, bro, if you didn't know. Like, everyone's got their own, like, weird takes about how they do things. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Um, Comms are, because I really work with tier 4 teams, the
yeah,
comms are very clusterfuck still. Like, everyone's got clusterfuck comms, which is, like, that's, like, something that never changes.
yeah,
But
yeah.
no,
I know what you
working
mean.
with them, they show my appreciation a bit more because obviously I provide them with a VOD, I provide them with some, tips that I can help them with and stuff that can improve on them. So they do take in what I say, and it's good to see that. I just wish
Yeah,
people that were on my team would take that appreciation more. But these guys, they took my appreciation in, and I'm hoping they've improved on that. But no, I thought it was good, and I want to continue working with outside other teams because you know, like I said, I love helping people, and I want to just help as many people to improve and improvise as much as they can go into their siege gameplay.
yeah. That's understandable. I get what you mean. Um, if you could build the best five man with players you've met
Oof.
in T4, who would they be and why? Some just quick, brief sentence of like why.
Fuck me, bro.
And there's been a lot. I know there's been a lot, but like you just ones that comes to your head.
Ones that comes to my head. So Adrian's one. Adrian's a remarkable player. He's on my main team at the minute. He's a decent player. You gotta have him, bro. Like you just wouldn't say no to that.
Is the entry?
Yeah, but he can be flexible as well. That's what makes him such a decent player. And he has this distinctive way of knowing about where say like defense, he'll know where the attackers are coming from, and I love that. I love knowing that we go on cams for a reason. We want to know where their players are. But when he hears the sound cues of windows and where these drones are coming from, he will detect where the push is coming from, and he gets it right a lot of the time. And I want to see more initiative people like taking that type of criteria. But his aim's insane. He's a perfectly good player, and I think he's champ. Like he's a decent player. But like I said, rank doesn't mean shit. It's about how you play as a team, and he's a team player, like 100%. So I would take him
Yeah.
in. Another player I would take in would be I'm gonna have to say I have to say Tay. I know Tay has never been a player of mine. He trialed before. No, I think he did. I think he did work with us for a little. Yeah, he did. He did work with Q for a little while, like a little bit, and then obviously they left. Tay is a remarkable player again. He knows exactly how Siege is meant to be ran. He may have had his moments, mental and stuff like that, but overall, he has good mechanical skill. I can't like discredit him on that, and I think he has the right support group behind him. So he would be my second player I would choose in my list. The third player would be Alex for A2. Alex is another decent player as well. He's kind of like Adrian, but I feel like obviously Adrian's a little bit better. I'm not gonna lie, given what I've seen, but he can hold his ground really well. He's had many clutches in the past. Like he's a mechanically driven like player as well. Like love to have him back on the team again. So he's a third member. My fourth player would be trying to think. My fourth player would be. See, if you asked me this question months ago, I would say no to this player, but I'm gonna say yes now, and it's Rooney. Rooney, I don't know what it is. Yeah, Rooney's changed, bro. Like, I remember when you used to work with him, he was a bit chaotic. He was a bit frustrating all the time, every round. He would blame people. Like, he was in a bad place months ago, but now he's a reformed Rooney. He's changed the way he plays, insanely good. When he's in a great mood, he is probably one of the best players on the team. But when his mental goes a little bit, he makes shitty, stupid challenges. But I still want to work with him, and I think he would be my fourth player on that rank because he's flexible as well. Like, he's just a decent player, bro. Now, like, I honestly, he makes me smile when. Well, these four players already make me smile. Like him included. Like, they all make me smile so far when I watch them play. So here's my fourth player. Now my fifth player. Oh, this would have to be a hard spot player, you know, because they're all like entry and flexes. Oh dear me. See.
Strange.
Oh, we can't say things like that, bro. Trying to think, bro. See, I would say you, but like I know you have still a lot of level to catch up. You know what I mean? So if I wanted to be...
dude, if I fucking jumped on the game now,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're not the level as these players are. Do you know what I'm saying? But you were a remarkable Hearthstone player. But yeah, I would have to pick my I'd have to pick Sub-Zero, who's my current Hearthstone player. He's insane. Like he knows how to open. Yeah. He knows how to do his thing, bro. And he holds up well. He hits really good clutch situations as well. But he's a great shot caller too. So I would have him. Yeah. So it'd be Adrian, Tay, Rooney, Alex, and Sub-Zero. That's my five.
Fair enough. I mean,
and honorable mentions, Squiggle and Arrow. Okay, because they're decent as well. Squiggle. That'd be my honorable mentions for sure.
See, with me, quickly, I feel like I don't want to like lick my own ass here. Like, I feel like with the thing I was good at the most, I feel like, yeah, I made some mistakes while doing it, but I feel like I was good with my droning. And I feel like I was very like, I wasn't kill hungry at all. I literally just got the wall open, planted a bomb. That's it. I couldn't care if I went like 1 and like 6, for example, in the competitive, because it's not my job to get kills. And I feel like that's one thing that I can personally, I can feel like I can kind of say like, yeah, that's probably one thing I'm good at. I think me like learning the new meta like now compared to back then, a year ago, and I feel like just me learning new shit takes a long time. And I feel like, if I jumped on the game now, especially in like a comp environment.
I mean, you asking questions about seasons ago, do you know what I mean? So you're far behind.
Exactly, yeah. I'm like, I'm probably like, do people still put shield on top red on Clubhouse? Like, is that a still thing, or is it now like some sort of like, fuck it, I don't know.
No, I get what you mean. Like,
yeah,
you just feel your level's not there anymore because Siege keeps moving forward, players keep moving forward, and then when you stop the game, you're far behind than the rest.
Yeah, no, I see. I was watching that Pro League the other day, and I don't know, I can't remember who I was watching now, and I think they were playing, Club, and they were playing Cash. The defenders playing Cash, and they didn't bring any like hard supporters, and like they bring maybe like one guy with like secondary hard breaches.
Yeah, we booked
and
them.
Me personally, I'm thinking, where's the Therma? Where's the ace? Just someone. But then they're putting off these like straps where you don't even need them anymore, and it's like, okay, well, I'm outdated.
Yeah, it's the meta. Well, one of the metas anyway. Yeah,
one of the metas. Yeah, I don't know, but Is there anyone you'd like to shout out for being there and supporting you for your highs and lows in the past?
Um, Definitely want to thank my staff. So that would be you, Torii. I'm about to say Torii
I'm
twice.
Torii.
Torii, Yosh, Reina. Those three. Oh, sorry, and Feeder. You four have been there in my life since the get go. I like you guys haven't stopped your support, and same for Squiggle as well. You five have just been my rock. Um, and always trying to keep me up. You know, you guys are
Yeah.
the reasons I still try and do this shit. And then I would say the biggest shout out would have to go to Save. Save is he's really good at his job, bro, and I look up to him as much as I can. Like he's given me so much advice over the year.
Yeah.
And this is what I was going to talk about previously. He was the reason I took the break when I was mentally exhausted and came back and then revamped some of the things. It was his idea.
Yeah.
And without that, I don't know if I would have done two teams, but he convinced me to do it. And I think he made the best decision I could ever do because it's given me a bit more headspace. But he's always got the answer for everything. Like he knows what to say. And he's always there to help me with that. So yeah, big shout out to him. And big shout out to you guys.
No, I mean, I would say as right now, I haven't. I've been a bit on the sideline recently. Haven't been helping out as much as I guess you say I have. But I've, in my own way, I've always tried to support, and I do want to start like, see, I've just completely wiped Siege off like everything, and that includes leagues, teams, this, that, and the other. I just don't want anything to do with Siege. I don't want to start playing the game again, but I do want to start getting like just involved in little things and like helping out like little things and
Yeah,
shit like that. But no, I've like I've always been there for you. I mean, I feel like I've always we don't talk as much as we used to, but I still see you as like a really close mate, and
yeah.
you've helped me with like Siege in general, and like just even like get rid of Siege, even just like personal info like levels and shit like that. And I do have to thank you a lot for
No problem, bro.
that. Yeah, I mean, if what is something you recommend other teams to do and like not to do?
What I recommend other teams to do, and what they shouldn't do.
Yeah,
Well, first off, don't. One of my biggest golden rules is just don't be toxic. Like, be respectful. Like, that's my number one thing. Like, being toxic just makes people think that it's an inside job of everyone like planning on doing that, and everyone thinking these guys are just you know what I mean. It's not a very good vibe to hang out with. So that's my golden rule to not do. Don't be toxic. Be respectful to all your games that you're in with different people, and have fun with it, as we always say. For dues, always review your work. Always review each other's work. Um, Always big each other up, build each other's confidence. Um, you know, support each other, like literally on and off the game. Like it doesn't have to just be on the team and when you play and when you talk with them. Do it on and off the game. There are times where I've noticed some like tension between many players in my time, and the easiest things to remedy that up is just having a nice, quick conversation with each other, texting each other, because
yeah,
a lot of people won't make the first move to fix issues out with people. But I guarantee you, if you make that first move and be the bigger person and communicate on it, you will fix your problems with that person 100%. Because it shows that you are open to communicate and you're open to discuss these matters positively. If you don't,
yeah,
if you leave it, it's just gonna get stale. It's gonna get dry. It's gonna get so much bad like tension around the vibes, and people are just not like that. Um, Another don't. I would say don't scream and shout and ruin your mental. Because if you start showing your emotions while you're in game, you have
you're gonna shit yourself
your
basically.
team
You
has
just
to
yeah,
rely on bringing you back down to the reality of the game and regain you, and a lot of people can't regain for a very good time to get back into the game like that. So always take every round a go. Don't get too driven over the game. Just be yourself and don't worry about making mistakes because we all do. You know, and I just feel like a lot of people worry about making one mistake that could lead them to getting dropped, and it's just like, don't worry. As long as you've got the right managing system around you, no one's gonna drop you over one little piece of mistake. They'll tell you how to fix that. They won't drop you because of it. Like, just take your time. Don't get angry at yourself. Don't get angry at teammates either, and just be chill with it because people are not gonna like you if you shout at people and shout at others. And this was something that I had to later, take in. This wasn't in game. This was me, in my analyst VODs and stuff like that. I used to shout at people. I used to shout at people after games, and it's not the right thing to do. And I learned from that. And I'm just spreading that awareness to tell people for their teams to just, be calm about things, be respectful about things.
Yeah, no, I think as well is like if I could add a couple things, I think as well is if you're starting new or like you're already progressing or whatever and making a team or a league or whatever, I think don't burn yourself out in anything, but don't burn yourself out. Don't put so much shit into it straight away. Because in a couple of months, for example, you'd be so burnt out, you can't be asked for anything. Teams can't be asked for anything because you just go with the flow. Take it casual, take it easy, and then you'll start to develop from there. And there was one more thing, but I can't remember. But knowing me, I'll remember in 10 minutes. But no, that's the main thing. Is just don't burn yourself out because you will end up hating what you're doing.
Yeah, and
like
if you have the right system again of players and staff, they will understand you'll need a break because you've done a lot of work for them. But don't overdo it because if you overdo it, you're going to make the most challenging mistakes that you will take a longer time to get yourself out of that little grave you're in, and people will eventually want to see you drop because you're not regaining from that. So always take pauses in yourself. Always be honest about how you feel because nine times out of 10, people don't know how you feel about Siege and how you actually want to be with the team. It's till later that it gets confirmed that you don't want to be there anymore, and that's because likelihood you're burnt out. You were too scared to say so.
Yeah, no. I think as well. Actually, I remember what I was gonna say. I think as well was don't like if you know you've made a mistake, for example, like understand you've made the mistake. So you've done something in game or like in management, coaching, whatever. And then if you've made a mistake and you realize your mistake and then go from there. Like I think like going back to what we were saying earlier, is don't always expect that you're right and everyone else is wrong. Sometimes you gotta take the blame or take the you know, be a bigger person and understand that you messed up. And then if you realize that, then you won't do it again, and then you develop as a better person and team and this that, and the other.
Yeah.
What is? I think we've only got one more question, I believe. What is the next thing for you? So right now, what is the next thing?
The next thing for me is building my main team, like to top tier Siege like criteria. Like I really want them to really have a good environment of play, and really take us and push us into leagues and hopefully push us ourselves into UK quals next year. As for the academy team, I just want them to improve on each other, like find out the right patterns of what they are good in and what they're bad in, and determine that as a team and move forward with it. A lot of times I worry with the academy team because there's a lot of lazy people, but they will eventually get it done. It's just like I need them to be a bit more communicating about how they're gonna get it done. They don't have a time stamp about where they're going to go next. All they need to do is worry about where they see fit in their own team and how they will push it with the next league they push it to.
Yeah, no, I think another thing actually as well is I forgot to mention is don't expect to be a new team to a fucking like god tier team, I guess you could say, in a week. It's gonna take a long time to really understand every single player, your coach, how you play, Because if I look back at myself, I look back of how I used to play before my anxiety, and now if I go onto the game now, I'm not going to be as amazing I was, but I'm going to be so much better because it's just the little things. But you're not going to get better in a week or two. You're going to get better in 6 months to a year. You'll notice a massive difference. But you just got to stay committed. But at the same time, like I said earlier, just don't burn yourself out. That's the main thing, really.
Yeah, honestly, you just gotta have a good balance with things. Don't overdo one thing. Always keep everything in balance. So, scrims, don't overdo it. Theory, don't overdo
Just
it.
make a schedule.
There you go. A schedule.
Yeah, make a schedule.
And keep
Obviously,
to
if
that
you're
schedule.
yeah, no, if you're let's say for example you're at college or school, whatever, you know, I always say this. I don't care what anyone says. Like siege or not siege, make sure school's priority.
Yeah,
Make sure that's priority. But then a couple of nights if you want, hop on, do some warm ups, do some
yeah,
scrims, do some this and the other. But always make sure that you're having fun as well.
yeah, pretty much.
God, it's like a sit down, isn't it? Like we're doing. Is there anything you want to ask me? Like anything at all? Off the top of
Um,
your head? Just,
um,
just anything.
you said that you feel, you wouldn't really come back into the scene like this. Do you still feel like you can offer your services and support in one of the teams? It comes to the maybe a little bit coaching side, maybe a little bit of like notes to write down for them and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I yeah, I wouldn't want to play. I would like the other day, for example. I don't know what the fuck happened with my
Oh,
game.
that was just
That
bad,
was
bro.
that that was
Drunken
really
memory.
that's never happened before. And then it's just, but no, if we needed like an someone to hop in for like an emergency, I'll do it.
Mm.
But I wouldn't mind helping out like not fucking diamonds. I'd rather stick for just
Out the academy team then. Saves me
yeah.
time.
I mean shit like that.
I need out with that. So
I don't mind.
good
Honestly, I'm
assistant
not just
coach over
saying
there.
this. I'm not just saying this to put a smile on your face. I'm saying this because I want to do something. I don't mind helping out with academy team. I don't mind like just helping them out basically.
I mean, that's why you're staff for a reason, bro. That's the way it goes. I don't really have any more questions to be fair,
that's
bro.
absolutely fine. No, it's all good. No man, it is nice like just have these kind of conversations and chats and shit like that, isn't it? I think personally.
I mean, it's gonna go out to the public, so I mean, whoever has a convenience subscribe, they'll get this, and they'll watch it, and it will go on Twitter as well. So, yeah, a lot of people are gonna see this. Is it gonna be controversial? I don't think so. I think I've answered everything in the honest and appropriate way of everything I've said. I've not really name dropped anyone, have I? I've been quite respectful in that remark, so I've just said what I feel during this tier 4 scene, and yeah, and I'm open. If I'm still here and you're still here next year, we could do another one of these. You know what I mean? Because it would be good to recap over another year and see how next year fun does. Because I really want to push myself to the limit with this. I really want to get somewhere. But it's all about doing the right work, the hard work, not overdoing it, and having the right support system. If you don't have the right support system, you're not gonna. It's gonna take longer than expected. Is what I'm trying to say.
No, I get what you mean. And it's the good thing as well though is I might be going a bit off topic. I might be going uni next year. Like I'm like 99% sure I am.
Ooh.
And it's doing esports and management and live streaming.
That's good, bro.
So it's looking at the insides of esports and shit like that. But no, we'll talk about that another time. But no, thank you for being here. Thank you everyone that's watching. I've been Torii, and this is Anxiety.
Yep. See you on the flip side,
and
guys.
we'll see you later. Good luck. Have fun.
See ya.